Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this video, we will show how to use SQLite and Python step by step, and we will show how to create a database in SQLite, how to add some rows in the tables, and how to modify or delete information step by step using SQLite. Switch to Python to demonstrate the set of steps to code to write a simple code to use SQLite. So file, new project, and give the name SQLite Python and Python. In this window, to use the perfect thing is in PyCharm or in Python, we don't need to install some application like SQL Server or Oracle or MySQL, because to use SQLite it is simple and just write import SQL3, for example, is a version of SQLite. There are two types of database. Heavy database like Oracle or MySQL, we need install some application, MAMP or XAMPP or PHPMyAdmin. But in SQLite, we don't need to install any application, because SQLite is a set of file in your folder. So go to main.php. Voila. The first step is to import SQLite. Import SQLite. We use the import, so import SQLite3, and give the name as SQL, for example. The second step is to create a connection to a database. So the second step, connect to the database. We can write SQL or create a connection object SQL dot connect. We use the method connect, and we give the name of the database. So for example, gestion employé dot db. Well, if the database not exists in our folder, Python will create a new database named gestion employee.db. So we will close the connection in the end of our work. So the last step is to close. So close the connection. Close the connection. You use con.close. Voila. The third step is to create a cursor. We must create a cursor to execute all basic operation in SQL, like create, drop, insert, etc. So create a cursor. Voila, create a cursor. C égale con the name of the connection dot cursor. It is important to create a cursor to execute desired operations. For example, we create a new table named employee. So we can write the code. Now create a table named employee. We can use the basic operation to create a table in SQL. So we can write cursor dot execute, and between between three, one, so it is perfect to three codes, and we create multi-line. For example, create table employee. The first column is name ID employee, or employee ID is integer, int primary key. In this video we need some basic concept of database, so you can look it in our playlist in the YouTube channel. You found a playlist named basic of SQL or PHP by admin to look all basic techniques to manipulate the database. Employee ID int primary key. The second column is the name employee text. So to execute our cursor, you can write, you must commit to save change. So we must commit our change by write c dot cursor or connection object connection dot commit. So if our database is created, we can write a simple message print okay, table added, a simple message. So we can run our project to view the result. So go to run and run main. Okay, table added. Very good. Voila. Library, some scripts. Look, that's gestion employee.db is created in our project. Very good. So the second step, how to, for example, how to add some rows in our table employee. So we can write, for example, exercise 1, for example, insert some rows in our table. We can write c dot execute c dot execute. So we can write or an insert. We can use the basic operation of SQL, structured query language. So we can insert into employee values the name 1, and the name is Muhammad, for example. While insert, we can OK table added, OK rows added. While we can write rows added. So we can run table already exists, so we can hide this instruction because the table is already exists. We don't need to create again, so we can comment this portion. So we can line so we can remove this portion of code. So insert into employee values, so execute, say run, rows added. We can add a new line, for example, to Usama. Try to execute again. Okay, rows added. So if we look our library, database, script, lab, etc. Now, if we like to extract all information in our table employee, you can use a fetch method to list all data in our table. So we can remove this. How to list all information. Exercise 2, how to list all rows in the table, in the employee table. We can use a cursor, we can use fetch. So we can use fetch. No. S dot execute a new query. Select. So we can write select étoile from employee. Select étoile from employee to list all employees in our table. Now we can fetch all elements. So now display all elements. How to list? Display all elements. We can use print for items equal say dot fetch all. Now we can write print items, print this list. Yeah, bismillah. So run. Look, this list contain واحد محمد اثنان أسامة. Print items. We can use items. The first employee between brackets 0. So the result will واحد محمد. Then write again واحد محمد. The second element is 2 أسامة. Right? 2 أسامة. Voila. If we like to display the name, we will use items 1 name. The result is Usama. If we like to display the name, we will use 1 0. We can use this code. Is very good to use for item in items print item. So we display all elements. So the result is واحد محمد 2 أسامة. If we need to display without parentheses, we can use item item 0 plus voilà plus item 1. See, voilà, we can use for example num egal plus and name egal plus the results plus items name item voilà, so we can only character string to int. Sorry, we need to convert into string to concatenate to string. Thank you very much and see you again. Now we explain with Arabic. إذا أحبائي الكرام، دائما يجب أن نقوم بتحميل المكتبية الخاصة ب SQLite. import SQLite as SQL ضروري. as SQL هي فقط لكي نقوم لعدم كتابة SQLite 3. إذا دائما يجب أن نقوم بخلق كونكسيون أو خلق أحبائي الكرام رابط بقاعدة البيانات باستعمال SQL connect وتسمية قاعدة البيانات. إذا كانت موجودة هذه قاعدة البيانات فنعم، وإذا لم تكن موجودة بايثون سيقوم بخلق واحدة جديدة. إذا دائما ضروري خلق كونكسيون، ثم ضروري خلق كيرسور لنقوم بتطبيق بعض الأوامر الخاصة ب SQL كون كيرسور، ثم نقوم بإكزيكيوت لجميع الأوامر الخاصة ب SQL. وإذا كنت تريد أن تقوم بتصفح نتيجة الركن الخاص الأوامر التي تقوم بجرد مختلف القيم، يجب أن تقوم بكتابة items say fetch all، ثم المرور على جميع العناصر المكونة لهذه الليست باستعمال for item in items print هذه الأشياء. وفي الأخير يجب أحبائي الكرام أن تقوم بحفظ الأشياء commit يعني save يعني حفظ التغيرات التي طرأت، وفي الأخير تقوم بإقفال الكونكسيون. كان هذا عبارة عن ملخص خاص باستعمال SQLite باستعمال لغة بايثون. شكرا لانتباهكم وإلى اللقاء.